Good day, doctor. My name is Point X, metric number A21A3034. I represent the part of Chapter 1 Introduction. In this part have background and context, prepared statements, research question, research objective, and operational definitions. First is background and context. This research is about how to cause climate change and what are the consequences of the climate change in all the states in Malaysia. This study is underscored the importance of understanding the cause and effects of climate change on Malaysia's diverse ecosystems, industry, and social systems. Malaysia, known for its tropical climate and diverse wildlife, is grappling with climate change impacts like rising temperatures, rainfall strengths, sea level rise, unusual weather events, and ecosystem loss. Next is the problem statement. The scope of the study is all the states that affected by climate change in Malaysia. The purpose of the study is analysis the elements leading to climate change, which is industrialization, growing urbanization and population, rise in sea level, agricultural practice, and other factors. Aim to shed light on consequences of climate change on ecosystem, infrastructure, public health, and social economic structures. The missing current knowledge in problem statement is community perspective and adaptation strategies, biodiversity, and policy suggestions. This part is research question. The research question in our study has factors of climate change and effects of climate change. The table below is the factors and effects of climate change that in our research. They will answer this following question with strongly disagree point 1, disagree point 2, neutral point 3, agree point 4, strongly agree point 5. Our research objective is to investigate the factors and effects of climate change.
My name is Ho Sing Lee. My metric number is A21A2497. I will present for Chapter 2, which is literature review. They have 5 elements in this chapter. The belowing is 10 of factors of climate change on the stage are affected in Malaysia. The following is 10 of effect of climate change on the stage are affected in Malaysia. Next is research gap. First is effective policy implementation. Second is focus on community healthy symptom and coping measure. Third is community involvement and participation. Theoretical or conceptual framework. These figures are show the independent variable, which is the factor will influence the dependent variable, which is effect of climate change on the stage are affected in Malaysia. For hypothesis development, there are 6 hypotheses that we conclude in this topic, which is there is a relation between lodging in the open forest, uncontrolled use chlorofluorocarbon, industrial activity, burning of frozen fuels, construction of resident areas, risk in sea level with the effect of climate change on the stage are affected in Malaysia.
My name is Gang Huiling A21A2483. Firstly, research design. In this study, a descriptive research approach was applied to analysis the data. Quantitative research is used in collecting data of respondent that target. There are many methods in quantitative approach to collect primary data and secondary data. Questionnaires are being used in this study to collect primary data for respondent. Moreover, data analysis are conducted through descriptive statistic, reliability test, validity test, and others. Total population of Malaysia in 2023 is 33.4 million people. Every population had a different attitude, knowledge, and experience. Hence, the target population that involved in the study is all citizens of Malaysia. According to the scholar, words can conclude that sample size is more than 200 respondents is accepted. Sampling procedure. In this study, one of the method of non-probability sampling method, which is convenience sampling, are used. Data collection procedure. Online questionnaire through Google Form. Google Form link is distributed through online platforms such as WhatsApp, Telegram, Facebook, and other research instruments. In the study, questionnaire are being used. There are 4 parts in these questionnaires. Descriptive statistics. In this study, descriptive statistics such as percentage, frequency, and graphical are used by researchers to interpret the data that collected from primary data. Reliability test. According to George and Marley, value higher than 0.70 is accepted. Correlation coefficient test. In this study, the Pearson coefficient test is used. Pearson correlation value is between positive value 0 and negative value. Regression test. According to James Stewart and Geoffrey Watson, value less than 2 indicates positive autocorrelation and value greater than 2 indicates negative autocorrelation. Validity test. According to Jonathan Sarwana, the validity test is valid when the valid coefficient value is higher than 0.30. Factor analysis. Factor analysis refers to the examination of whether a small set of data can explain the variation in a large set of data based on correlation between variables. The highest percentage of each demographic information are 77.1% of female, 62.0% of Chinese, 80.5% of 18 to 24 years old, 22.0% from Selangor, and 80.5% of students involved in this study. This section is a multiple response question. 38.8% of respondents noticed climate change through weather change. 45.7% of respondents experienced before flood in their state or city in the past. 35.6% of respondents choose that the most affected category are health and well-being. 33.2% of respondents choose that government expenditure on climate change are provide financial assistance to states that facing natural disaster. This part will be explaining the data for factor of climate change on states that affected in Malaysia. According to the graph, we can conclude that all the factors are strongly agreed by the respondents that involved in the study. This part will be explaining the data for effect of climate change on states that affected in Malaysia. According to the graph, we can conclude that all the effects are strongly agreed by the respondents that involved in this study. Descriptive statistic for factor of climate change. The highest mean is uncontrolled waste management, which is 4.12. The lowest mean is rise in sea level, which is 3.78. Besides that, the standard deviation value, the factor of climate change on the states that affected in Malaysia are mostly less than 1 or near to 1, indicates that the value is close to the mean. Descriptive statistic for effect of climate change. The highest mean in climate change causes hotter temperature, which is 4.40. The lowest mean is the climate change reduce the number of people traveling. Besides that, the standard deviation value for effect of climate change on the state that affected in Malaysia are mostly less than 1, indicates that the value is mostly close to mean. Reliability test. The value of the factor of climate change in Malaysia is 0.905 and the value of the effect of climate change in Malaysia is 0.899, which is regarded within an accepted range. Validity test. In this study, the corrected item total collection value for factor and effect of climate change on the state that affected in Malaysia is higher than 0.30. It indicates all the questions that grade in questionnaire are valid. Correlation coefficient test. The value of correlation is 0.564. It indicates that the factor and effect has a positive correlation. Regression test. In this study, the Duren-Watson value is 1.710. It is in the range of 1 to 4 and it shows a positive autocorrelation. Factor analysis. The Kaiser-Meyer-Okin value was 0.915, which was higher than the recommended value of 0.6. In total variance explained table shows that principal component analysis relief, there are 3 components recorded. Eigenvalues are greater than 1, which are 42.521, 12.959, and 7.434. Under the term component, there is a defined breakout. The 3 components have a total of 62.314% of the variance.
I and other members will continue to present for this chapter 5, which is implication and contribution to knowledge. Here have 5 parts in this chapter. For finding is to investigate the factor and effect of climate change on the stage are affected in Malaysia. And we also found that the Malaysians have their own perception to face the natural disaster when these climate change are coming to them. And we're able to identify the factor of climate change that give a negative impact to stage and Malaysian economic system. We will study more deeply to understand the factor in climate change that have affected in this stage of Malaysia. Contribution to knowledge. The first, community involvement and awareness. Government need to take initiative to increasing awareness through by education and their participation, the effort in this climate change situation. Second, ecosystem study. It is because Malaysia have a rich variety of biology. Third is impact of agriculture. It is because government having to exploit sustainable farming techniques. Last, collaborating international country. It is to contribute their expert and knowledge to the global discussion for this climate change. For practical implication, the data that we collect are using the questionnaire through by Google Form, and the total respondent that we collect is 205 respondents from different community groups such as youngster, child, student, employer individual, non-employer individuals, and retired. And government need to understand the effect of climate change because government can provide more solutions or significant variable to solve this weather condition.
Organization of the thesis in our study has 5 chapters. Below are the general figure of our report. We have 5 chapters. Chapter 1, Introduction. Chapter 2, Literature Review. Chapter 3, Research Design and Methods. Chapter 4, Demographic Profile and Data Analysis Percentage. And Chapter 5, Implication and Contribution to Knowledge.
We had 3 recommendations of this topic. First is more detailed range of target respondent can be added. It is to find the institution and university in Malaysia that have research departments to encourage in this research topic. Second is using qualitative method is to investigators and observe chance in biodiversity. Last, conduct face-to-face observation or online interview. It is because to easier respondent to answer all the questions directly and provide additional information to reduce the misunderstanding in this study.